conclave when he went to select the new pope. And I want him to come forward and share that story.
Thank you. Thanks for remembering that. Right, so the first meeting I couldn't make because the Amtrak was 3 hours late. It was canceled. Last night, we were about 45 minutes late. I'm going to ask the president if instead of being on this commission, he could put me on the National Transportation Board, because this week. So thanks for remembering, Lieutenant Governor. I had told him when I called with my regrets at being unable to make the meeting that I had just returned from the conclave to elect Pope Leo, and obviously we were there for 31 days between the death of Pope Francis and the installation of Pope Leo. And we cardinals, the cardinals from around the world, spent a lot of time together. Only, about 30 hours together in the actual conclave, locked in, which is what conclave means in the Sistine Chapel. But before that, for 2 weeks in what's called the congregation meetings, and we don't have to keep those quiet, so I can talk about this. What I shared with the chairman is the number of my brother cardinals from all over the world who came up to me, and I presume the other American cardinals, to thank us for our strong defense of religious liberty. I was fascinated by that and asked them why. And they said, well, because you in the United States serve as a beacon for the rest of us. So many, and doesn't this give us an added sense of responsibility? We're not doing this in a self-serving way. We're doing this as an extraordinarily solicitous and benevolent way to help others, because they look to us for the protection of religious liberty. They look to us as a nation that's extraordinarily democratic, but yet admits that we couldn't be that unless we were one nation under God. They said to me, you must realize, and so these are cardinals from, well, I'm not going to say it because they could get in trouble. That's how somber it is, but you would know the nations where there's overt persecution. You'd also know the nations where there's perhaps not legal persecution, but cultural, where the forces of secularism on steroids so snicker and sideline religion that it has no access to any of culture's more noble enterprises, where they're just afraid to bring their religious values. But these cardinals would tell me these thugs that run our nation want to be the only dominant force. They want to be the Dominus, the Lord. They want to dominate. Now, we've been through that in the Roman Empire, right? And they said, so they will immediately, first and foremost, go after religious freedom. Because people of conscience and people of moral conviction and people of muscular religious faith, these are the ones that have the freedom and the integrity to speak out, and these are the ones that must be silenced. So they will immediately work to curtail religious freedom. We saw that in the Soviet Union, did we not? And we see it today whenever we have thugocracies or totalitarian regimes, because they want total control of their people. Not just their wallets, not just their brawn, not just their muscles, but their heart and their soul. And we say no. We say no. There's only one. There's only one who is our God. There's only one who is the Lord. And nobody else has absolute dominion. And if we give up on that freedom, we've lost it all. And I was bolstered that my brother Cardinal said, go home and keep at it. Thanks for letting me share that, all right?
We're going to take a brief break as the president arrives, and I believe the Secret Service wish you to keep your seats. I believe that's so just kind of sit there and we'll advise you very shortly. So we'll take a brief break, gentlemen and ladies.
please stay seated. We will resume shortly.